ChroNoSo 50. Yes, the 50th episode of ChroNoSo here on the North-South Connection Podcast Network. And this large episode with everything in it is available on audio format and all podcast applications besides those clowns at Spotify. The video portion is us right here kicking this off. And when I say us, it's me, JT, and my no-holds-barred buddy, the godfather of ChroNoSo, I guess, right? Because it was your concept early on. It was a different format, right? The concept was yours. Ryan Gray has taken it and steered us to success in the years since. But you really kind of spearheaded the original idea, Aaron. And it was fitting because you kicked off the first ChroNoSo way back when with the idea. And now you're kicking off episode 50 with me. And in a nice touch, Chad Campbell did the main event of that first ChroNoSo at WrestleMania 1, and he will be with Ryan doing the final segment here tonight on this episode. So I thought Ryan did a good job bringing some cool little anniversary touch to this episode, but I'm very excited to be with you because this segment that we're going to cover tonight is right up our alley. How you doing?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful segment. It's everybody involved is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you remember
this? Like, I didn't really remember this one.
So I kept trying to think, is this where he this is like going into it. I was like, this isn't where he runs off Brother Love.
No, that's right before WrestleMania. Later. That's right before WrestleMania 7. And I think it's forgotten now, like how early this feud started.
I was thinking that, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it kind of starts in earnest at the Rumble, right, when Savage cost him the belt. But at Survivor Series, Savage isn't on the card, as we'll talk about when we get there. Right, he does like a promo, kind of calling out Warrior. But here we are, just a couple weeks after SummerSlam, and he's out there. This is what the 9-8 Superstars, I think, and then it aired on primetime. But so this is a week or two after SummerSlam, and they're already kicking off this feud for WrestleMania. Not even the world title feud, like Warrior's champion to start this feud, right? Savage is going to be chasing him, and it doesn't even end up being a title match, which is kind of crazy.
I'm curious if that was their, like, at this point, were they still lining up Hogan Slaughter by this point, September?
I don't know. Well, it might have started Hogan Warrior at this point. I don't know when they decided to go with Slaughter. I'm not sure. I'm sure.
Like, is it possible that they were starting to build for, like, I guess at this point, Survivor Series, there was no championship matches, so that wouldn't make sense. Maybe the Rumble?
I think, and again, we'll probably cover this here on ChroNoSo, but I'm pretty sure Warrior and Savage actually have a title match on Superstars at the end of the year. And then it kind of blows up from there, I think. So I do think Savage does get that title match. I may be wrong. I'll have to look. But
so why is he mad at the Rumble?
Well, it's another one, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's a non-title match. I think they fight on Superstars. I'm pretty sure. In December. But this segment here is the Brother Love Show with sensational Queen Sherri. You can see Blubber Love here on the screen.
He's so red. He is so red. And he is taking in so many deep breaths. Like, I've never... like, it's so much air. I mean, he doesn't need the makeup by the end. He's so red.
You know what I've really come to appreciate, too, is the... like chuckle in his song that he does, like that little noise.
Yes.
The more I hear the song, because they play it obviously on this clip here. We'll see if we can play here. Let me know if you can hear
it. This should be most interesting. Just screaming. No.
So Brother Love does bring out sensational Queen Sherri, and our good buddy Peter Winston always talks about the Savage DiBiase relationship that exists all through the years. Brother Love with Savage and DiBiase, he's like part of that clique. Once Macho turns heel, he's like their Saul Goodman of the group here. Like
he's been their Saul Goodman since 1988. Well, DiBiase's anyway.
Yeah, he like runs he runs the business for them on the business end. But he's always out here bringing them out. He's always involved at the '90 Rumble. He's in there with Sherri and Sapphire, like when Dusty Rhodes loads you in the pickup truck. So he's like kind of indirectly aligned with these guys. So he brings out Sherri. It's all reverence. She rides a sedan.
I'll be honest. I don't love. I never am super comfortable with Sherri coming out to Pomp and Circumstance alone.
Yeah, you think she should add a different song?
Like, I feel like if it was today, it'd be Pomp and Circumstance, but like messed up a bit, and that would be good.
What if they put the Brother Love over Pomp and
Fine,
Circumstance?
then it's sold. Then I'm sold. As you were talking too, I started to think like, is Brother, because I didn't as a kid, so I for sure watched this live because I was like hooked every Saturday, right? But as a kid, I loathed Brother Love. I didn't understand who he was, why he was there. Is he there for the adults? Because as an adult, he's incredible.
Yeah, I just think it's like, I don't know. In Canada, did you have like the televangelist stuff like we have here? Like now the South, obviously, I think is bigger there, but
yeah,
this was a whole goddamn industry in the 80s, even before, but really 80s and early 90s. It was like a big thing, like 700 Club and all these other shows that would be on TV where you'd have like, Jimmy Swaggart and others out there doing this big preaching and asking for money and, the religious stuff, right? And that's what Brother Love is. It's like a shady televangelist, right?
Yeah, like I would say, like, how like it where you're from, like the level that you cut the South down to get to there, cut it the same amount, and that's what we had. Like,
so it's very little exposure to stuff like that.
But so much of our culture, like we knew who Billy Graham was. You know what I mean? Like,
Superstar.
So much of our culture is American culture, so it doesn't matter, right?
Right. Yeah, it's very much that. So I do think it was more for adults. I think he's probably just annoying to kids, but no, he's really good. So like, you realize how much he really pushed like so many storylines, and it's fitting because when he's there, similar to Piper. Well, with Piper they had a bunch, but Brother Love Show, I think, is the one time where like that's it. And then once he's gone, there's like 7 of these things at a time going at all times. You get the funeral parlor, you get the barbershop, you get the Heartbreak Hotel, you get the King's Court. Like they end up having a bunch of them. But when it's Brother Love, I don't think there's any others concurrently running with him besides like Gene and Mooney on the podium or whatever.
No, but that's not a show the way this is a show. To me, too, this might be is this the best of these shows? I know people will jump to Piper's Pit, which is a solid option too, but I think these are the only 2 that are kind of worthy of consideration for that. Like,
I think Piper's Pit is more so because it's carried by Piper and what he says and does on that show, right? I don't know if it's great at pushing storylines. Now, some big stuff happens on there, but I think a lot of the value is in Piper just being Piper. Whereas I think the Brother Love Show is actually a little bit more successful in moving storylines around because him being such kind of a pussy, helps a lot.
Yeah. He was much. He really, like, when I think back of some of the craziest things and storylines, like even when Flair shows up and there's the chaos, like it's on that's on the funeral parlor, isn't it? Later, yeah. I don't know. I remember a lot of Brother Love stuff, and he was on all the time.
Yeah, I mean, he's there for. He debuts in mid '88, I think, because he's at SummerSlam with Duggan, or early '88 probably, and he's there to WrestleMania 7. So, and then right after he's done at the funeral parlor, pretty much in barbershop both start. They have one on Superstars, one on Challenge. But I think the fact that he's such a bitch like helps because he's always he talks tough and then he's hiding, and he kind of starts like the Chris Jericho, like WCW Chris Jericho. And Santino style of like dismissiveness, he was really good at asking the question and pulling the mic away on the faces, right? Like that kind of attitude, the wrong names, like, brother this, and so disingenuous. But when any kind of physicality comes in, he's hiding behind everybody.
He's terrified.
Yeah, I'm actually real proud of the Saul Goodman comp on the fly because I think it's like a real good comp. Like he's there when you need him, but he's also kind of the stooge of the group. He's not really doing too much, but
I always remember him selling the DDT from Jake when he's blind, like death. Like he was dead. Like,
and the great laugh he does when Jake is looking for the glasses before the DDT, and then Jake just crushes him.
Yeah, it's the best.
What do you think of Sherri's outfits? She's in prime bizarre Sherri.
Yeah, like at first I was like, what is on her face? Like I was thinking maybe it looks like a bird crashed into her head and the feathers kind of spread out along the side of the face.
It's weird.
And she's also on the wrong angle for the whole interview.
Yes.
Because the thing is blocking her face. Turn her around.
Yeah. That's not usually something they screw up at this time too. They're such a sticklers for this stuff that It's surprising that they let her face be completely blocked this whole segment. But this is coming off SummerSlam where she had the giant,
the cat
thing going on. So she definitely was experimenting with some weird costumes.
She's Sister Queen here, though. That's her name.
Sister Queen, Sensational Sherri. I always like how he adds to it. He doesn't like trim it down. He adds to it.
The name is not enough. He's got to add. Now, let me ask you something. Is Sensational Sherri attractive?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's like as a
kid,
I never would have.
Adults. I think as a kid, you're not buying it. But as an adult, you're like, this is the crazy chick that, like, you're 17, she's 24 and a biker or whatever, what I mean?
She's going to teach you the ways.
Yeah, like it's kind of like a little Mrs. Robinson, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Especially in the later years too, with the Harlem Heat, the pleather and all that. And she looks good with Sean. And even DiBiase when she's wearing the dresses and stuff. So anyway, she's here because she has a contract that needs to be signed.
A royal contract.
A royal contract. Proclamation. That fat toad Jack Tunney is involved. But basically, we need Savage's signature, which will be easy for her to obtain, and the signature of the Ultimate Warrior, so they can have a world title match between the two of them.
The common peasant coward Ultimate Warrior.
The ultimate chicken, as Brother Love calls it.
Yes. Ultimate chicken. Of course, it's enunciated like crazy.
Well, and he notes like his colors are very feminine, basically, like girly colors.
And he goes pink and orange.
Yeah,
since number one, hello, it's 2025. We can make whatever colors we want. But when was orange a female color?
I guess maybe saying like the neon, like the pastel orange, maybe.
But look at him.
He's red. Yes, he's very red. And he's wearing basically wearing pink. It's a symbiote, a troll. And then he also says he is a touch of yellow in the paint. Of course. Basically he's a chicken.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Do you think it's a good strategy by Sherri to like begin shitting on the man she needs a signature from?
No, it's a different tack. She learns because at the Rumble, she takes a very different approach. So you can't say she hasn't learned from her past errors.
Before you change this photo too, like let's just look at how the color of Brother Love's hand versus his face.
It looks like he's wearing a glove.
Yes, but that's his hand.
I know. It's ridiculous. And we should say, I didn't call this out. If you're listening, you should go to our YouTube because we have some great stills from this, and there's some good ones coming. Thanks to Ryan for loading these up. But he is. It's not even red. It's like burnt sienna. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
I think he put on red makeup and then proceeded to like blow a gasket. So it's like red trying to come through red.
They would never know if he was having a heart attack on the show because
he would just die and no one would.
No clue.
I wouldn't blame them for keeping going with the show. They won't know.
Well, we're gonna go on with the show.
That's what he'd want. That's what he'd want, pal.
All right, so this is one of our favorite moments. We're talking about this off air. For some reason, as Sherri is talking, they pan twice to the curtain, and Warriors is peeking out, but he's not doing it menacingly. So it almost looks like he's like waiting for his cue, but they show him. So like, and this is pre-produced. So like, if it was an error, they could have cut it easily. They didn't need to show him. So this is like a very like determined strategy to have Warrior just kind of standing there, like creeping at the curtain. It was very odd.
I've never seen him creep around. Have you ever seen him do anything at less than 1,000%?
Right. I would thought he'd be pacing. Maybe you'd see the curtain moving because he's pacing, but it's very weird.
And the second time, the photo here is great. The second time he comes out, he's like he's completely aghast. Like it's so out of character. It's so strange.
It's like a Only Murders in the Building scene. I don't know. It's very weird with the guy. He's like peeking the curtain, watching something he shouldn't be watching. It's very voyeuristic. It's odd. It's really odd. And then he does eventually emerge, but.
Yes, I think he's there when she calls him illiterate too. I think that's when he gets all aghast. Like I can read.
And I think the ultimate chicken was so funny. He brings him out too. Brother Love calls him the ultimate chicken. And here he comes. How do you rate this Warrior look? The black. I like the black on his hair.
I like the black a lot. I don't know how I feel about the Warriasticas on his face. Like what are those? Like instead of having the paint, it's now But
he did that for a
like
while as champion in 90. He only did the little thing on the cheek versus the full face.
Yeah, I don't know how I felt about that ever. Like,
It was
but
weird.
I love the blue strap on the belt.
Yeah,
Right.
that looks cool. And I feel like the black is only a fall of 90 collection. Like I don't think he ever wears it outside of that fall time period. I don't know if it was part of the LOD feud with Demolition or what, but
me neither. I have a figure of him in black, and I never know where to put him in my shelves.
Fall of 90. Whatever you got fall of 90, that's where he's gonna go.
Yeah, I gotta get some more 90s guys, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, that's to me where I only think of fall 90 when I see the black. I don't think he wore it otherwise. I don't think he ever wore it anywhere else besides fall of 90.
It's so like he's in black, she's in pink with black face, like what black bird face, and he's red faced and in a white suit. Like the costumes are all amazing, the looks are all incredible.
It's all very distinct. We said it before. 1990 to me is like the peak of the color aesthetic in the WWF. The Rumble 90 to me is the iconic wrestling pay-per-view when you think of color. Like there's so much color popping, and it carries through most of 1990. This is another great still here. Brother Love basically hiding behind Sherri as she's taunting Warrior.
Yeah. I love too that at this point she's like, I need you to sign this. And then she starts giving reasons, like, well, because of this. And then it just degenerates like, just sign it. Sign it.
Sign the fucking paper. Yeah. And then he starts, obviously he's not going to sign this goddamn thing. No, and, he basically says Savage isn't really macho. He's not out here. And then he takes a weird thing where he says like he's in love with someone else. Like, did he mean himself or Liz? Was he saying like, was he trying to bust her balls about Liz maybe?
I think he was just because he kind of he did this weird thing where he looked behind her. Like, because he's like, oh, you're like Macho Man's hiding behind you, but he's not there. And now he's pantomiming like, oh, I see this. And
that's what he's hiding behind your skirt is kind of what he says.
That's it. And he also enunciates more than I need no contract. Like it's so enunciated. I thought of Elizabeth at first, right away. Maybe this is where it starts. Maybe the whole reunion starts here.
This is where the seeds are planted. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if that's what they're hinting at. Like, hey, like you may think, Savage loves you, but we all know who he really loves. Either that or he meant himself, or he's just being fucking insane, which is also a possibility with the Warrior.
I think it's number 3, almost certainly.
So when he says that about being in love with someone else or whatever, Sherri slaps him across the face.
And Piper's impressed. Piper's like, yeah, oh, wow.
And Piper's still heelish. He had just started a few weeks before when Jesse left. And at SummerSlam, he's a little heelish too. I think by Survivor Series with the Gulf of War stuff, he starts to turn. But around now, like he's still kind of healing it up.
Scotland wasn't involved in that war. What's his problem?
Right. He's very angry at Iraq.
But also, I think what's cool about Piper is I think he never liked the Warrior.
Right.
And I think that shows in his commentary. Like he's cheering.
Well, SummerSlam 90, he's like Rude is like his nemesis from less than a year earlier. And he's like rooting for him in that match. That's and he helped the Warrior beat him a year before.
Hey man, things changed. Okay.
So Sherri slaps him. Warrior's not a fan of that. Slap.
Brother Love gets immediately behind her too.
Oh yeah. He's hiding, he's cowering, which is amazing. So they verbally battle a little bit more. This is where he says he's not so macho.
And Brother Love lays down the law. He's like, you will not strike her on this show. We preach love here.
You love the lines some take. No, she hits him again, right? Is it a second time?
She hits him 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times. So on the third, he finally has had enough. You can see here, Brother Love. It looks like he's groping Sherri, but he's hiding behind her.
He's probably getting
Warrior starts to kind of pace, and then he's had it. He picks up the Brother Love podium and slams it down. Brother Love is
Piper's like, behind Sherri. Yeah, Piper's like, is he going to throw it at them?
But look at this. This picture is amazing. Where Brother Love is cowering behind Sherri.
Yeah, and it really shows how limited the set is.
There's not a lot of room to work with on there. No, it is tight. Warrior, this is a great picture to him screaming into the ether. And then he picks up the sedan and just throws that down too and breaks that in half. And I was actually thinking, like, do you think they just repaired it? Is it detachable pieces, or do they have to like rebuild an entire sedan for the next airing here?
I hope they have to rebuild, and I hope it wasn't planned. Because I want to see someone backstage going, "Oh, come on! I just fucking built that.
Put this thing together
again."
I couldn't tell if it was made to break apart, because they got to transport it. So it probably is.
Who's going to be the king? Who's going to be the king next? Mabel? What? Why?
Well, you got 4 years to reinforce it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mabel as king, Aaron. Oh, go ahead.
Warrior also bushwhacks out, by the way. Like as he's leaving, like his arms are so freaking weird. Like
it's very odd. It's very un-Warrior. It's very un-Warrior-esque. And actually, I find that his fall of 90 is like such an outlier in his career. Like, I don't know if he was just trying different things to become the guy and make it work. Like, it's almost like they had to humanize him a little bit to be the face of the company, to go on Regis and, do different PR and stuff. Like I think that's why they do the paint on the side of his face. I think that's why he talks a little bit more than he used to. He's not snorting as much. Like, I think they really try in this post-summer stretch to like say, okay, like we're used to a guy that can go out there and talk and do PR, whether it's Savage or Hogan.
Yeah.
That's not this nut. So like
you just scream and run around. So
because as soon as he loses the belt, he's like back to being crazy at WrestleMania, like by WrestleMania. So
that's right. Yeah.
And he's got the full face paint again. So it really feels like they try a little bit different stuff here in the fall with his look and his approach.
Yeah, there's by the way, the contract is on the floor. The royal proclamation that Warrior ripped up is on the floor there.
Shredded. Listen, you mentioned King Mabel, so give me a chance to plug. Just recently dropped, Aaron. We are back with the new No Holds Barred, rebooking King of the Ring 95. It's part of NoSo 95, the ongoing project here throughout the year, paying tribute to the year that was 95. And we had done this before WrestleMania. We did kind of a rebook for WrestleMania 11. Now we're doing King of the Ring 95. So be sure to check that out. Check out all the other great content at the North South Connection. You'll be hearing from a lot of different voices as this goes on. Of course, we have another PLE coming. And they're coming hot and heavy. PLE, Saturday Spin events. We're covering them all with previews, with post games, plus all of your other favorite shows like No Holds Barred. Wrestling Warzone is returned as well, so that's exciting. Or at least we'll be back by the time you're watching. It's probably within a day or so. WWE War, everything on Johnny Position, a la Carte with Keithy Langston. So a lot of cool stuff going on. Be sure to check it out. And Aaron, this was a lot of fun. Any last comment here?
No, I mean, look, this is like kind of peak of my fandom. And like I said, when you get a shot of those three together, it's a perfect shot of late 80s, early 90s wrestling madness. And that's always going to like be amazing for me.
And Brother Love's still cowering in this picture. There's like six straight pictures he's hiding behind Sherri.
Yeah, he went home like and locked all his doors. Like
all right. Ring that bell. Send it on to the next segment. Talk to you later. Or YouTube, we're done.